Good morning. This is the Stain and Seal Show. I'm your host, Caleb Roth. We're live coming to you from Nashville. So good morning, everybody. This is the #1 show for professional wood care contractors. So we're going to talk about staining wood, maintaining wood, staining and sealing, wood restoration, all of the things in that category. We're going to talk about things that relate to contractors and to homeowners. So you're at the right place. If you're looking to start or grow your wood care and staining and sealing business, you're at the right place. Like I said, we have the biggest community of experts in the industry, and that's at the Staining University Facebook group. So check that out. Today's September 3rd. Man, I don't know if you guys have been watching, but we've got this log cabin project going on in Nashville. Stanton Frank's down helping us with it, and it is really, really cool. It's really going strong. I'll share some photos with you in a few minutes, but that's doing very well. If you're watching this morning, check out the banner on the bottom of the screen. Make sure you put your name, where you're from, who you are, and make sure you put your name on there, because Facebook does not let us see who you are when you're on Facebook. So there's privacy policies in place. Weather's holding strong. I'm looking out the window here. The sky is sunny. We've been praying for dry weather, and we've got it, so we can get some things done before winter gets here. I know fall is fast approaching. Today we're going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about Wood Talk Section's California Redwood, which I think is a cool species to know about, learn about. And we're going to talk about, let's see, I got a couple of good expert staining tips. I got some, and I really want to talk about a lot of stains this morning. I know that's something that we get a lot of questions on is stain. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about warranty on your stain. We're going to talk about flood coat stain application, why you do it, why you wouldn't do it. And so I'm ready to get started. Let's see here. Looks like we got some eyeballs watching this. If you can hear us here, give us a comment. Let us know you've made it. Log cabin project looks awesome. Cool. What is the chinking? Yeah, the chinking is Log Jam by Sashco, and then we're going to paint the chinking. It's got a pretty good amount of chinking on it. We just got to touch the chink up in a couple places, and then we're going to do the chink, the textured chink paint. The biggest part of that project was really taping, obviously restoration, and then taping, rodding, and filling all the cracks. That was very tedious and time consuming. So awesome. Wood Talk section. Today's wood species is California Redwood. Like I said it before, we like it so much that we actually created a stain color for it, and we called it Sequoia. So some of you guys have seen that stain and maybe used it. It's a really cool color. And so let's talk about redwood. Redwood trees are capable of attaining heights of nearly 400 feet tall. Redwood is also known as, the scientific name is Sequoia sempervirens, something like that. And so sequoia trees, that's known as the world's tallest tree species as of today, right? I'm sure there were bigger trees before, but that's the big ones that we have left. It grows in a very limited area in the Pacific coast of northwestern United States. So redwood lumber is very soft and lightweight. I've got some pieces of it here, and comes in all shapes, sizes, colors. There's sapwood, there's heartwood, and there's many different grades of it. But like I said, it's lightweight, but it has a very good strength to weight ratio, so it's nice and strong. It's also very stable. So everyone I know who uses redwood, they talk about how stable it is. So meaning that it doesn't warp, crack, and twist nearly as bad as most other lumbers. And so it's just a really good lumber, and it has very little shrinkage. You really just don't see that much shrinkage with it from season to season. So let's talk about redwood is rare and expensive, but value enhancing. So you got to pay for it, but you get your money. You really kind of, it holds its value. So if you put a pine deck in versus a redwood deck, redwood costs more, but redwood means more. People would pay more for having that on their home. People love it. It's so let's talk about it, and actually you could compare it to a lot of exotic hardwoods, because a lot of people don't know the difference between like an Ipe or a Redwood. So if they put a Redwood in, it could kind of represent the same kind of a thing as like a Brazilian hardwood. So there you go. I'm going to take a couple of let's see here. Let's keep going. Supply versus demand. I'm going to take some comments here in just a minute. So please throw them in there where you are and where you're from. But redwood trees are no longer being harvested. I don't know if all of you knew that or not, but no longer harvested. Here is another piece of redwood. Check that out. It's got peel and stick tape on it, and probably a couple hundred rings there. So now it is no longer a commodity. It's more like a collector's item. You just can't go down and cut redwood trees. So you got to take old growth trees that are falling down, or you're repurposing lumber, from my understanding. Its grades are divided into several grades, and they're distinguished basically by heartwood, sapwood. They've got clear and knotty grades. And I'm going to do a screen share here and show you exactly what that looks like. We're going to go to Buffalo Lumber's website and look at some redwood. So here we go on Buffalo Lumber's website. These are some cool guys. We've done some pre-staining for these folks, and you can see what redwood looks like here. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful lumber, and it's actually just really stunning when you put a nice stain and sealer on it. But let's get down to the grades. So as you can see here, you've got really clear heart grades. So heart would be the red, the heart of the wood, and it's clear, meaning there's no knots. So this would be the premium type of a grade here. Over to the right, this would be just a redwood clear grade. So it's not all heart. You notice there is some white wood in there, but it's very clear, no knots. Down here to the bottom left, we've got like a grade B sap grade, and it is there's knots in it, not a ton of knots, but there's knots, and you have both heartwood and sapwood. And then you get down into this con common. I've heard that said many times, con common. You notice there's lots of knots. There's both sapwood and heartwood. Generally more heartwood, it looks like, than sap, but there you go. Primarily West Coast. If you're in Tennessee like us, you're just not going to see this stuff. And that's just the way it goes. You're just not going to see it. So uses: redwood's commonly used for all type of exterior construction projects. Probably siding, post beams, trims, trim for houses, fences, decks, and exterior furniture. In Tennessee, we used to actually have a lot of old homes that had redwood on it, and they used to use a lot of redwood here. But I don't know if it grew here or if they just brought it into here. Most likely they just trucked it in. So the care and maintenance of California redwood, it's very stable, but does tend to crack if the ends are not sealed. So we see some people that mill their own California redwood and let it sit. The ends will crack if they don't wax the ends. So you sometimes will see the ends waxed on redwood. Redwood changes color from red to orange almost immediately after it's exposed to the sun. So we used to do a lot of our sample boards. We used to do a lot of our sample boards with redwood, and I will show you what we discovered about how quickly the lumber will change. So here is a piece of sapwood. You can see the color that it is. Here is a piece of the exact same piece of wood after 10 minutes in the sun. 10 minutes in the sun and then brought back in. So you see there's a totally different look, totally different color change. And the same thing will happen with these other woods. In the sun, it goes from pink to a reddish brown, sometimes orange look. So you got to be mindful of that. So if you're building a new redwood fence and you want it to stay that nice new pink look, you better do something quick. So also redwood turns gray rather quickly. So it's recommended to stain and seal it pretty quick. So a lot of guys will stain it the day it's put up, as long as the wood is already dry. On the West Coast, a lot of redwood siding and fences have been sealed and then they turn black. So if you're in a redwood area that's primarily redwood and you see a lot of blackened fences, usually that has to do with the product that's been used on it. For some reason, products containing linseed oil are very popular on the West Coast, but they just almost immediately turn black. And the reason for that is because linseed is a organic type of an oil, and it is basically food for mold and mildew. So that could explain what's going on. So, but if you use an oil-based stain that does not have linseed in it, you'll be good to go. Let's see, if you want, Redwood is also really easy to clean. So I've got a video I'll share with you in a few minutes about how easy to clean Redwood actually is. In my opinion, I have never seen wood that is easier to clean. So if you're in California, there's going to be a huge opportunity for you to clean fences with minimal equipment. And so I'll tell you a little story about that later when we watch that videos. But Redwood usually requires little or no pressure, and you can really do a good job cleaning it with Eco Cleaner and Wood Brightener if it's just old raw redwood. It takes stain really well and holds up nicely. And redwood, you know, like other woods, we recommend you clean it every year. You do a maintenance coat of stain on the flat surfaces every 2 years, and on vertical surfaces every 4 years to keep it looking perfect. You can go longer intervals than that, but to keep it looking perfect, you got to stay on top of it. So my experience with redwood. So we don't have redwood in Tennessee, like I said before. So I'll tell you a story about that in a minute, but I am going to say good morning to a few people. I see Boss, good morning from Dan at the Fence Industry Podcast. Good morning, sir. Great projects you've been doing. I've been seeing them and they look good. Somebody here says, morning, it's Mike D'Antonio here, about to go do a morning hike in the Pocono Mountains. So I'll be listening until I lose service. The charcoal cabin looks incredible. Thank you very much. Very humbled for your comments. Happy to have some really awesome guys working on it. Let's see here. Margot Palmer, good morning. I don't see any comment, but good morning to you. And whoever left me the fire, good morning. Thank you. Dodd Biddle. Hey, Don, I hope you're doing well. My people are from Oklahoma, so I always love it when Okies are on the show. And beautiful project you've been doing around all these neighborhoods on grass. He's been staining all these fences one after another around homes. And they got AstroTurf, this fake grass. Man, I bet he's having to be really careful over there. He's doing a great job. It looks beautiful. So back to my experience. Like I said, we do not have redwood in Tennessee. It's very rare. And so I had to actually go all the way to California to see it for myself. And so I went to San Francisco. I think the first time I went to San Francisco was 2019 or 2020 to check out the wood market there. And I went to see my good friend Ruben Borg from Ruben Borg Fence. Some of you know Ruben, great friend of mine, great guy at the same time. So his company, they install high-end redwood fencing. Really, it's the best I've ever seen. They have a really fine and detailed process, and they build one style of fence, and it is just fantastic. So if you're in the Bay Area, check out Ruben Borg Fence. But I was amazed at how beautiful the redwood was, because it looks real similar to the cedar we get in Tennessee, but they have clear grades. And I think it has to do with there's bigger trees there. So our trees here in Tennessee that they cut for cedar are generally smaller. And so you just don't get the long planks without any knots and things showing. So again, I was amazed at how easy it was to work with, because they got a wood shop there and they're building all this stuff out of it. And also how easy it was to stain. And then also when we did some cleaning jobs, I was just amazed at how easy it was to clean. I could literally take pieces of redwood just like this and dip it in an eco cleaner solution, shake it off, rinse the water off under like a garden hose with no pressure, and then dip it in a brightener. And it looked almost brand new right before my eyes. And I've never seen wood clean that easily. So there's an opportunity, guys. If you're watching and you're in California, there's an opportunity. But the weather's generally dry on the West Coast, so we see a lot of the wood, I think, doesn't go through that same harsh wet, dry like we get in other parts of the country. So I think we see this in Colorado too, in high altitude areas. Things tend to just be drier there, and so they're easier to clean. A lot of times, almost every project Ruben does over in California, they would install the fence, and then the same day they install it, they would actually stain the wood. And that was news to me because in Tennessee, we wait a couple of weeks, but all of his lumber was sitting on his yard for quite a while. They have a lumber yard there, and a lot of it's dry storage, and their lumber was literally dry when it come out of the bundle. So they would install the fence, and you have this beautiful pinkish red fence. They stain it the same day. And I think that made a really big difference in the way they got a finished look. And also it made a really big difference on their operational drag there, because they get in and out really quick and could turn jobs over quicker. But if you want to stain redwood, you do need to be mindful that it turns orange quickly. So if it's red, it's going to turn really orange. If it is a piece of white wood, the sapwood, it's going to turn that yellowish golden color very quickly in the sun. And if you plan on doing like a clear coat on it, it's going to highlight whatever the color it is after being exposed in the sun. So I called Ruben, some of his folks, and talked to him, and they said redwood does crack, warp, and twist, but not as much as other lumbers. So it's pretty stable, like we said before. And staining and sealing it, we recommend staining it when the moisture content is at 13% or less. And usually rough cut fencing can be stained within a week or two of construction, or right away if the wood lumber is already dry, and then decking about 4 weeks to dry out if it's not quite dry, or if it's kiln dried, or if it's already dried and been stored indoors for quite some time, you probably could stain it the same day. We see a lot of people out there would actually stain wood on sawhorses before they install it, so that was pretty cool. But like other species, you can wait a year to stain the wood. It will absorb more stain, but just like we've told you on other things, it's the longer you wait, the less stain it's going to absorb. I'm sorry, I'm backwards. The longer you wait, the more stain it's going to absorb, but the less pop you're going to have in your wood grain. So you need to be mindful of that. If you really want it to be the most beautiful, stain it early, stain it fast. If you want to get the longest life out of the stain, then stain it a little later when it can absorb just a little more lumber. I always err on the side of beauty, and then we do the rest. So our stain, I'm gonna talk about Expert for a minute, because we do sell a lot of stain for redwood, and Expert Stain and Seal was developed not only to be gorgeous, but to stop warping, cracking, and twisting. So even though redwood, that's not a huge factor, it is sometimes something you need to be mindful of. So make sure you get a stain that's made to penetrate way down into the wood. And remember, the job is not done until it's finished. So that's all I've got to say about California redwood. If you're ever out in California, check it out, because it's amazing what they've got going on over there. So hello from Veterans Fence in North Royalton, Ohio. What a name of a place. That's pretty neat. Good morning. We got Chris from Kasuric Distributors. Good morning, sir, up in PA. We got another thing of fire from somebody. So thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am, for that, whoever that's from. Let's throw some banners up here. Join Staining University on Facebook, #1 wood care community. So just want to throw that out there. Hey, if you got questions, we are going to take them in just a few minutes. So please drop your comments in and your questions. And I'm going to get into the next section, expert staining tips. So I wrote down a couple of tips this week that I was thinking about, and these are important to me, and I think they are important things that you can add into your business if you do not already. That would give you a better customer experience and would give you the ability to charge more for your services. People will pay more for service that they really love. So appearance. So some of you guys right now probably think, is he talking to me? Yeah, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to everybody. So what I mean when I'm talking about experience or appearance is that I am a stickler for client experience. And experience is one of those things that makes a big difference. If you look at the FedEx guy, the UPS guy, and the Amazon guy, which one of those uniforms that they wear and the way they carry themselves says, I'm professional, I'm safe, and I'm worth it. I'm worth the most. In the comments, let me know which one do you want at your house. Obviously the FedEx guy is usually wearing like basketball shorts and a purple shirt, untucked. No problem. Okay, that's your uniform. Cool. The UPS guys, they look nice. They look sharp. They're wearing brown tops, brown bottoms, brown shoes, brown hat, brown truck. Everyone knows a UPS guy, and no one, I don't think, feels very threatened by those people. The Amazon guy rolls up in a new Sprinter. He rolls up with gray slack pants on, with a shirt tucked in and a belt and a nice happy green blue shirt, and takes a picture just a lot more professional. And I think there's a reason that Amazon's shipping more packages than FedEx, right? So, and a lot of you guys need to be thinking about not yourself, because a lot of guys think, well, if I was home and I was, doing something and I look like crap out there, or the contractor at my home looked like crap, it wouldn't bother me because I'm a man. I could go out there and defend myself. But what about your wife at home? What about when you're at work and your wife is at home, your small child's at home, your wife's in there, maybe she's a very petite woman, maybe she's scared of things more than she should be, and then you got guys out there that just look really bad. She will be uncomfortable with that. That will make her uncomfortable as long as you're on site working, no matter how nice you are, no matter how no matter how good a job you do. If there's a wild looking dude out there, she's still going to be uncomfortable. So if you put on nice outfits, nice belt, shirt tucked in, collared shirt when you're doing your service work, I know some of you guys are going to think I'm crazy for saying that. But you need to look nice when you're on your job sites, and it will represent more when you go to the gas station and your crew looks nice. When you go to Home Depot, when you go eat lunch on your lunch break, your team will look nicer, and it will make a difference. When I was an owner operator staining fences and decks every day, I wore a nice polo shirt tucked in. I wore a clean hat because when you're staining for a living, your hair does not usually, the hair gel's not working right. And so, and I wore nice looking boots, and I would usually wear like navy blue pants. I like the khaki pants, but I would wear navy because I could get those a little dirty and still have a nice shirt on and still look presentable. So I would when I got to the job site, I would speak to the customer. I would prep the job site. I would speak to the neighbors if necessary in that outfit. So I'm wearing nice clothes. I'm doing the basic work. It's cool. I'm comfortable. I get all my communication out of the way. And then when it was time to stain, I would go into my truck, into my trailer, into my van. I would change shirts. I would put on not necessarily a dirty shirt, but just a stain shirt, a shirt that is okay to get stain on. I would put on my stain boots, which were dirty boots that I stained in. I kept them in the truck. I would put on a staining hat. I would put on a head sock because I didn't like to get stain all over me, because I got to talk to the customer when I get done to get paid. I want to look nice. I would wear a head sock. I would wear a full face mask. A lot of you guys are scared to death of those, but full face mask protects your eyes, protects your nose, protects your lungs. I got no problem with them. I wore them every day, and it's 105 degrees in Tennessee, so no excuse. And we worked from daylight to dark, so we could wear those things all day long without an issue. But you don't wear them all day long because you're only spraying for a certain period during the day. But and I would wear, again, full face mask and gloves, and to keep cool down the back from the collar. So your collar generally has a ring around it. And so I would go just below that ring on the collar, and I would cut it all the way down the middle, right basically between my legs down the back. And so the back of my suit would be open. And so I'm wearing a full spray suit, and I didn't do Tyvek suits because those just didn't breathe. I did the really lightweight, they're like a cloth material, absorbent cloth material suit. And I would open the back, and it was like air conditioning. So it felt so great in there. And especially if you're a little bit sweaty, because your shirt would get wet, cool air comes in. And even when it's really hot out there, it would really keep you cool, and that would feel nice. Once all the staining was done, once the heavy lifting was done, I would take the suit off. I would take all of that PP off. And now I've cooled off, so I can do the cleanup. I can take the masking down. I can roll the water hose up. I can do all of the things that need to be done. And then when I get to a certain point when all the dirty work was finished, I would go back into my trailer, back into my van, put on the hat, take all the clothes off, wipe my face down with a towel, get looking presentable, fix my hair, put a nice hat on, put a nice shirt on, tuck my shirt in, put on my nice boots. Now I go wipe down the gate hinges. I put the fence sign on the fence. I do my walk arounds. I make sure everything's done. I can roll up my water hose. And then I can go talk to my customer. And not only is it nice because when you talk to your customer and you look presentable and you feel confident, you don't have stain all over you and your arms are black, you look presentable. But also now, if you're like me and you can't afford a Super Bowl commercial on TV and you have to do your own marketing, it's a perfect time to do a Facebook Live video while you're clean and looking nice and saying, hey, we just finished this job. Call us at this phone number, go to our website. We stain fences, we stain decks, we stain log homes, what have you. And now you look presentable on your video. So that's something I really recommend you do. If you don't do it, somebody else is going to do it in your market, and they're going to take the work that you're looking to get. So do that. Also, when I go up there and I look nice, my customer knows that they made the right choice by choosing Stain and Seal Experts. And losing my voice today. I have heard it said that in business, you will never lose money by being overdressed. You can give that one to Grant Cardone. All right, number 2, expert tips. Use an extension pole when staining to save your back. I know a lot of you guys right now are going, all right, you're a genius, right? Who would have thought of this? Most of you guys are using a stain pole, but we get so many guys and ladies that come and they listen to these things and they're brand new. And I still see on the internet, on YouTube, go driving down the road, I still see people staining fences with a spray gun. They bend down, they bend up, they bend down, they bend up. They can't get the top. They're spraying over top, oversprays going over. They don't have the control and they don't have the speed that you can get with an extension pole with a good swivel on the end. A good 36 to 48 inch extension pole that goes onto the end of your gun with a swivel. I don't really think it has to be a 360 swivel. I prefer just a swivel that goes 180 degrees, just up and down. And I prefer a straight grip gun. Most of you guys are just still using the gun. If you go to a straight grip gun, you can have the pole that just articulates up and down. And then when you turn your wrist with the straight pole, now you can go on a different angle. You can go on a different plane. And so you can get 360 out of those poles. And those 180 degree swivels are a lot more dependable than a 360 because the 360s just tend to not last as long. And there's been some great tools made, but because of all that articulation at the end, they tend to just not hold up as well as they could. So we are, and with that swivel, you save your back. It allows you to hit the top of the fence. So you can turn it where it's straight down. You can spray the whole top cap of the fence. You can get up underneath the rails down at the bottom because you can turn it up. You can turn it sideways and get behind the post. So it's really nice to do those things. And then if you're staining a deck, you can stand up and walk and you can stain it because it's down below you. And so it really is worth the investment to get one of those. And I think usually for under 100, 150 bucks, you can be set up for that. And big news, we're currently experimenting with a new all-in-one extension pole. And I hope to have good reports back to you soon. If they turn out to be really impressive to me, we will be selling them to you. We will keep them and do that for you guys. So I'm ready for some comments. So let's talk about good morning. I got a good morning from someone. Good morning. We got Josh from Precision Staining. Appreciate you watching, Josh. We got Jeremy from Fence to Fence, big stain contractor in Dallas. Watch him. He's doing big things. Good morning. This podcast has replaced my Saturday morning cartoons. Me too. So thank you for watching. Someone says a nice uniform sets a team above the rest. I agree 100%. Nice belt included. Yeah, got to have the belt. The belt, something about the belt that makes you look sharp. I'm from Florida and it rains a lot. How do you know when to go back to stain after you wash a deck? You can, one, just drive over there and look. Two, you can invest in your company and invest in not wasting time by leaving moisture meters on your job site. Leaving moisture meters on your job site. If you leave a moisture meter with your customer, you can call them or text them and say, hey, if you don't mind, give me a moisture meter reading before you leave the house this morning. And if that thing is 75% moisture and the customer texts you a picture of what it looks like, just have them send you a picture of the moisture meter stuck into the wood. If it's way high, you don't have to drive out there. But if it's like 15% and it's 8 a.m. and there's fog in the air, and you know by 11, the fog's going to burn off. It's going to be hot. It's going to be 10% moisture by noon. You've saved yourself some time and worry. So you can go there and get it done. Andy is the guy who makes our videos. If you're watching, Andy, turn that one into a little clip there. I think that would be a good clip. Jason Inslee, what's up, man? We got one of your hats over here. We really appreciate it. Vincent Santana, this guy is a marathon door hanger putter owner. He puts on, I don't know. Vincent, you tell me in the comments how many door hangers you put up a year you think. It's going to blow your mind. So Vincent's at JB Fence Staining and Restoration down in Texas. They do fantastic work. They know all about customer experience, and that's what I really like. So come see us again, and hopefully we'll see you guys. I won't personally be there, but I think 4 team members will be there training you guys on staining and sealing down at the Wash Mart event in Houston next week or the week after, in just 1 or 2 weeks. Jason says, mine usually split on their own. I do not know what he's talking about. I'm sure it's just because I have a short memory. I really love this. I think it's the best thing when showing up and my guys look uniformed and nice. Man, you do feel good. Your chest sticks out and you feel pride when you look nice. And your people feel better too. We had a conversation about this in our office. You perform at a higher level when you feel like you look good. There's no doubt about it. Can you walk through the app on the deck staining part? Mostly the railings seem off to me. 600 square feet flat, 70 feet of railings. We are having technical difficulties with our app right now. Basically, there's some updates or something going on in the iTunes store or whatever, and it's got our app acting a little funky right now. We are going to fix it, but I'm going to be honest, I apologize. Sometimes in business, you have to prioritize and execute, and we're really working on other things for you guys, primarily on our website, to really give your customers a better customer experience. So I know your customer experience to buy stain from us is important, and that's what the app is for. It's to help make that easy, and we really appreciate all of you guys who use the app. But we also know that you can figure out how much stain to get. You can figure it out. But the most important thing for you, the way I can help you even more than the app, is by having a really phenomenal representation of the products that you use on the internet for your customers to look at. So our developer does our website and our app. I've got him on the website right now, and that's what we're working on. So bear with us. But basically, you just put in the length of railing, you put in the length, the square footage, and the number of steps on the app, and it should give you an amount of stain used. Now you can set the age of the wood, you can set the species of the wood, you can add a sprayer or not, and you can, I guess I said the age because the older fences or decks tend to use more stain. So those things may work. But easy way to figure stain usage on a deck is about 200 square feet per gallon on flat surfaces, and vertical surfaces, railings would be included in that, about 125 square feet per gallon on vertical surfaces. So you don't have to have an app. You should be able to figure it pretty good. So 246, we're going to use 3 gallons on the floor, maybe a little more because you got the skirting and the things on the outside. So maybe 3 or 4 gallons there. You got 70 feet of railing. Railings are generally 36 inches. So 70 times 6 would be both sides. That's 420 square feet. Divided by 125 is 3.36 plus 3 gallons there. So you're going to need 6.5, maybe 7 gallons. If you're a contractor and you're in it for the long haul, I would get 2 buckets, particularly if this is a common color that you're going to use a lot. If this is a really wild color like pink drink or something crazy like that, maybe you just buy 7 gallons and try to stretch it out. Do it by hand. Make sure you have enough. All right. Me and Vince do 2 to 3 miles a day. So that's Logan that's watching. Logan from Logan Johnson. I think Logan needs to come on the show. I would like to have Logan and Vincent. I'm officially inviting you and challenging you to be on the Stain and Seal show next Saturday. Will you do it? I need a commitment right now. If you can do it, give me a thumbs up and say yes. If you can't, I understand. You may be standing, but I'm asking you to do that. I think everybody would enjoy that. But 2 to 3 miles a day, dropping door hangers off every 50 feet. So you do the math. I bet that's thousands and thousands a year that they're doing. And so anyways, that's a good way to grow your business. Logan, Vincent, you coming? Come on, guys. Hey, and everybody in the comments, I know you want Logan and Vincent to come on the show and talk. So yeah, if you want to fly out here and sit right next to me, you're certainly welcome. Let me make sure I'm going to be in town. So maybe I do have to go to Arizona. Next Saturday is the 10th. I will be here. Come on, baby. Let's go. I dare you. All right. We get a lot of questions. So I'm going to answer them before you ask them. I'm going to help you guys out. I know some of you are new. Some of you guys already know this stuff, but here we go. Tell me about your products, Expert Stain and Seal. We get a lot of questions about products we manufacture, so I thought I would briefly go over the products and application for each. And even if you've used our stuff for years, I may cover something here that you don't know about because we do have some new products, and I will talk about that. So we are most well known for our Expert Stain and Seal, and that traces its lineage back to the Stain and Seal Experts fence and deck stains we first became known for. Not too terribly long ago, we did a rebrand. We decided that contractors like you needed a more premium look. Even though we had a great product, we wanted the label and the branding to match so that you could sell it as a premium service because that's what you were already doing. So we just wanted to make that easier. So we rebranded and became Expert Stain and Seal. We're a premium grade penetrating oil-based stain and sealer in one. A lot of people ask that question. Is it a stain or a sealer? It's a stain and sealer in one. And it's really a one-coat application. It comes in 19 gorgeous and rich colors. If you've seen any of Logan Johnson and Vincent stain jobs, you know that it comes in gorgeous and rich colors. And it can be used for interior projects, but we've designed it specifically for use on exterior wood. So fences, decks, cabins, pergolas, docks, patio covers, birdhouses, shutters, you name it, mailbox post. The first thing you'll notice when you open a can of Expert Stain and Seal is the obvious lack of smell. We use a highly refined conditioning oil, cost a lot more than other oils. And this oil requires no solvents to suspend our pigments, which is really cool because solvents kill people. They are carcinogens, they are VOCs, they go into the atmosphere, they destroy the ozone layer, they can cause cancer. So we just decided, hey, we'll make a stain without those things in it. That sounds like a good idea. Our stains contain more oil than any other product on the market, really giving you a maximum protection. So Expert Stain and Seal comes in transparent for new and high-end wood projects, semi-transparent for both new and aged wood, and semi-solid colors that we have are made specifically for old, cracked, and extremely weathered wood projects. We do get some people that want to put our semi-solid color line on brand new decks and sometimes brand new covered decks. Those decks have not been exposed to UV rays and have not opened. The wood grain is not open, and they really can't accept a stain that strong. So we recommend that if you use semi-solid, you follow the label instructions and use it on weathered and aged wood. So here's one that most of you guys may not know about, log and timber oil. It is our solution for those folks who have high-end projects and want a really high solids finish that will last and keep boring insects out. So we decided, hey, we have to compete in a marketplace with other stains and price points. But what if we wanted to build a product where we weren't competing, where price was not a thing? And so we decided we were just going to make a really strong stain with some really interesting features to get a really long life and be beautiful. And it's going to cost a little more, but it's really going to do a good job. So our log and timber oil is a dual dispersion stain, meaning we have transoxide pigments and opaque pigments in there. So opaque pigments are really big. They hide things. Transoxide pigments are really small and they highlight things. They make wood grain pop. So what you'll notice with our log and timber line, this dual dispersion is going to give kind of a really unique look. You're going to get some of the characteristics of a semi-solid. You're going to get some of the characteristics of a transparent. And then when you marry these two, you get a really beautiful, different, but familiar semi-transparent finish. And it really looks cool. And it's a lot of pigment. So the stain goes a long way. So you get extreme beauty and extreme longevity. The first thing you'll notice when you open the lid of our log and timber oil is the smell. So the first thing you notice about our expert stain and seal is the lack of smell. The first thing you will notice about our log and timber oil is the presence of smell. And what you're smelling is we've infused this product with pure citronella oil. And it's not the stuff that you get from Datella, like an essential oil that's got fillers and stuff in it. We found this, like they wrung the tree out and we got pure citronella oil. And not only does it deter boring insects because from destroying your home, because a lot of people, we get calls every day, hey, boring bees, carpenter bees, we need help. What can we do? So we wanted to put this in the stain so that it would keep those boring insects at bay. It also kind of helps the mosquitoes a little bit, you know. They don't like the smell of that. But the main reason is to keep boring insects out. Not only does it deter boring insects, but it also deters woodpeckers, right? Boring bee goes into the wood and then he turns sideways. So you see the little circle hole in your wood. The bee goes in there. He turns sideways and now he bores a long channel out. And he's got a living room and he's got a kitchen in there. He's got 2 bathrooms and he's got a bonus room, right? The bee's got all these compartments inside of your wood. Well, Mr. Woodpecker comes along and he hears him. And so you wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning to a whole lot of, you know, on the side of your house. The woodpecker's out there getting after it. He's looking to get the bug out. That's why he's pecking on your house. He's hungry. And so that's it. Also, here's a fact that you probably don't know, and I think it's the most important feature of the citronella oil. Not only does it deter insects, it's one of the most powerful and natural antifungal agents on the planet. So mold, mildew, things like that, it stops it. It inhibits it. And it's not something that if you breathe, it's going to kill you. A lot of the mildewacides and things like that are mercury. Heavy metals. They're all heavy metals. So citronella oil, the most powerful anti-mildew, antifungal agent on the planet. Sounds pretty good to me. So that's an interesting fact there that a lot of you guys may want to share with your customers, because I think they would like to know that. So our log and timber oil comes in 6 beautiful semi-transparent colors, and it's made specifically for use on exterior log homes, cabins, post and beams, log and timber construction, fences, decks. You can use it on anything. It is powerful. It does have it does go further than our standard stain. I mean, it's not going to go double, but it does go further. So give it a try. Try it on a fence. I think you might like it. Citronella additive. A lot of you guys have seen our citronella. We also sell citronella as an additive. It's, again, designed to deter boring insects like carpenter bees we get here in Tennessee. And woodpeckers, like I talked to you before, because the woodpecker looks for the bee in the wall and he destroys your wood to get the bee out and eat them. So if we can deter the bee, we can also deter the woodpecker. But the first thing you'll notice is the smell. It's very strong. So when you mix this in with your paint, your stain, or even water, it will emulsify in water. And you spray it on the fence. And again, you can use it on new wood or old wood or previously stained wood. If you mix it with water, you're going to smell it. Your customer is going to have no doubt that you did your job today. So they're going to come home and smell that. So that could be something that you decide to use on every stain project, because my stain projects smell like citronella oil. Everyone else's just smell like chemicals. So maybe something to consider there. But again, It's the most powerful, one of the most powerful antifungal agents on the planet. So something to keep in mind, again, when you do your sales process, so you don't have to worry about mold, mildew, etc. You can tell your customers. So those people in coastal areas might be a good thing. So Expert Clean and Bright, you guys will notice that we make a great line of practical and powerful cleaning chemicals that come in powdered form. And we get questions sometimes, why is this stuff in powdered form? You know, your competitors sell it in liquid form. Well, first of all, no one wants to pay to ship water. Second of all, maybe our competitor sells a 5-gallon bucket of a wood stripper for $269, and it's 5 gallons. We sell 5 gallons of wood stripper in powder form, and it makes 80 gallons for the same price. Sounds like a terrible business move for me, but sounds like a great business move for anyone who's wanting to be, be a wood care contractor. So Eco Cleaner, this is our most mild product. It's a sodium percarbonate based cleaner that's safe around people, plants, and animals, and it's great for both new and old wood, kills organic growth, etc. When you mix Eco Cleaner, it's green for easy identification. I'm going to take some questions here in just a minute. So, hey, get them coming here. I see I got a couple questions. Let's get a couple more because this section is almost through. Now, wood cleaners, wood cleaner. It's our stronger cleaner, and it's a mild stripper. This is our go-to for most wood restoration projects. It works fast to remove and kill organic growth, graying, lumber stamps. So when it says number 2 pressure treated pine 500 times on your deck, this will take that off without sanding. It removes tannin stains and some old coatings. Wood cleaner should be rinsed well to prevent leaving residue on non-wood surfaces. So anytime you're cleaning and you get wood cleaner, wood stripper, wood brightener, any of these things on the downspouts or the windows, just be sure to rinse it off. If you don't, it could dry and leave a residue there. So a brush, soapy water if you need it, cleans it right off. Now, wood stripper, this is the one everybody makes fun of me on because I describe it funny, but our wood stripper is a very powerful stain stripper that does a great job removing oil-based stains. It also can remove a lot of really hard, heavy organic growth. So if you've got a cedar shake roof that's got like an inch of moss growing on it, or you just got something that's just really, really old and really has a lot of growth, you might have to use a stripper. But strippers are very caustic and can burn your skin. They can kill foliage and remove, unwanted coatings from your house. So if you get it on your garage door, it'll take the paint off. So you got to be mindful of that. So extreme caution should be used when using commercial grade strippers. Wood stripper turns red when you add it to water. So you'll notice a trend there. Eco Cleaner's green, wood cleaner's yellow, and our hottest stripper turns red when you put it in water, right? So now our stripper booster. Some people will buy wood stripper from us and they will go put it on 3 layers of water-based stain and they will call us and say, your product is crap. It does not work. And they didn't read the label, unfortunately. So wood strippers, like I said before, are made to remove oil-based coatings. To have a stripper that is ready to use for water-based coatings, you have to add a water-based solvent. We sell Stripper Booster, which is our butyl salicylic additive designed to boost the performance of strippers. It will boost the strength of the stripper close to 500%. And you can use it on water-based coatings, and that's what you got to have. Our booster is colorless. So, and you put it in about 25% of your mix. It should be the butyl booster. Wood brightener. This is the most important step in wood restoration. You cannot do this. You cannot do any of the others without doing this. So, oxalic acid-based chemical neutralizer not only deactivates our cleaners, so that's important that you got to know. If you've got a wood stripper on there and you don't neutralize it, it's going to be wood stripper every time it gets wet. So when it rains and you walk out there barefooted, yep, that's right. You have to neutralize it. So you have to deactivate or neutralize it with a brightener, right? So our wood brightener deactivates. It balances the pH of your wood. It opens the wood grain to accept as much stain as possible. So it opens the wood grain so more stain can go down into the wood. But it also, the thing you're going to notice the most is that it restores the natural color of the wood. So you won't believe the difference that our expert wood brightener will make. This is a step you cannot skip, guys. Always use wood brightener after cleaning or stripping. It's odorless and colorless when added to water, and the other chemicals have color, so just be sure you don't mix them together. Chemicals don't mix. I want to ask who is coming to the Washmart event in Fort Worth the 13th and 14th of September. If you're coming, give me a thumbs up and raise your hand. And so check that one out. We're going to be doing some wood restoration and fence staining and deck staining training at the Washmart event in Dallas. Marco and his team putting on a great event. It's going to be a couple hundred people there. It's going to be awesome. It's at a private venue, so we're not stuck right in the middle of the city and can't do anything. We're actually going to be on a nice kind of a resort type of a thing. And so it'll be pretty nice. And September 13th and 14th, sign up link can be found in Staining University Facebook group. Also, this one's going to be awesome. I will be here at the Springfield, Missouri Staining University event hosted by Ozark Fence. Joe Everest, the fence expert, November 10th and 11th. So that one will be really good. Sign up again. All of these events are free. We are going to sponsor a veteran to come out. We're going to pay his way. We want him to come out. So if you know a veteran who's thinking about opening a staining company or wood restoration company, or already has one and wants to improve and needs to be scholarshiped, if they have the means to do this themselves, we don't want to do it. We want this to be meaningful and beneficial to someone. So if you know of a veteran that wants to come to an event, just doesn't have the funds to do it, but wants to turn their life around, maybe wants to start a business that can give them the freedom they're looking for, let us know. That's who we're looking for. Staining University in Nashville, the main event, the big one, February 16th and 17th, 2023, just outside of Nashville, the same place we always do it. That one's going to be big, 2023 Staining University. Please come. Again, that one's free. That one will probably have 500 stain contractors there. It's going to be big, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be the biggest and best one we've ever done. We've got some huge stuff going on there that I think you guys will not want to miss. Also, possible upcoming classes that have been scheduled or not scheduled. They have been decided on, but not yet scheduled because a location has not been determined. Southern California, probably just north of LA on the coast, and then Wilmington, North Carolina, again on the coast. I like these coastal classes. We get to go to the beach and go surfing or something. So Logan says, I may just fly out and sit right next to you. Hey, are you coming though? That's what I need to know. Are we doing this next week? Logan, Vincent, you guys coming next week? Alejandro Bardo, a Nashville guy, a jiu-jitsu player and stain contractor. Can you apply citronella to a deck you've already stained? Yes, you can. It will not work or last as long, but you can do it. And it will work. You can just put it in, you can mix it up in water. And you can spray it all around. You can spray it on the deck. You can spray it in the mulch. You can spray it everywhere. Fence to fence, plans on coming. Awesome. Cool. So can you touch on maintenance plans? Yes, I can touch on maintenance plans. I'm going to do this actually ties in perfect with this question I got. I've got the Q&A section coming up next. And I got a great question about warranty that ties right in with maintenance plans. And I'm going to throw that up there. And here we go. Does Expert Stain and Seal have a warranty? And so bear with me because this ties right into maintenance plans. Get a sip of coffee. I still have my coffee cup that has my Stain Man sticker on it. So the N is gone, but Stain Ma is still there. So Kenny Dugan at Staining University last year hijacked my coffee cup and left his mark on it. So appreciate that, Kenny. Does Expert Stain and Seal have a warranty? Yes, of course we do. Our stains have a warranty based on the half-life of the stain. So it goes up to 3 years depending on color. So what does the half-life mean? half-life is, well, we expect this to last 5 years. We expect this to last 3 years. We expect this to last 2 years, whatever the expected life is, before it needs to be restained or before it starts to really fade. The warranty is based on the half-life. And I'm going to explain why in a few minutes. Our stains are guaranteed to never peel, crack, or chip, but they actually are made to slowly fade away. So making maintenance coats pretty easy. So stains that peel, crack, and chip have to be stripped or sanded before you can reapply the stain. How many of you have ever stripped or sanded an old coating off? It's not very fun, is it? So we can't have that. That's not part of our program. So never peel, crack, or chip makes maintenance coats a breeze. So essentially when you follow our recommended wood care schedule, you will have a lifetime warranty on your finish. So does Expert Stain and Seal have a lifetime warranty? Yes, it does, if you follow our scheduled maintenance plan. Okay? And this is what you can tell your customer, because it's true. Let me explain. For our warranty to work, we're going to use a semi-solid, for example. It has a 3-year warranty. We believe through all of our research, through all of our testing, through all of our real-world data, and through our simulated data, our semi-solids will last 6 years. Pretty decent. So it has a 3-year warranty. That's based on the half-life. The half-life would be 3 years. So the suggested maintenance would be that you clean that fence every 18 months. And then you add a maintenance coat of stain every 3 years. Now, if you use 20 gallons on the first time you stain your fence, sometimes, usually, sometimes is not the right word, generally speaking, maintenance coats use less stain. So if you use 20 gallons the first go around, at 3 years, you're probably going to use 6 to maybe 9 gallons, somewhere in that range, to come through, do a nice maintenance coat on it. So you're going to use way less product. But the benefit is going to be you're going to way extend the life of your fence. So, but now the question is, if you recoat and do a maintenance coat at the 3-year interval, that's the warranty term, is your warranty over with? No, you just extended it 3 more years. And then 18 months after that, you do a nice little wash just to get the bird poop, the grass, the dirt, and any mold that could be growing on top because there's no sun or something. And then at the 6-year mark, you would stain it again, and that would extend it another 3 years. So Expert Stain and Seal technically has a lifetime warranty when our maintenance schedule is followed. You can extend this out forever. We know that there's no one and done product. All these product manufacturers that have 25-year warranties, 15-year warranties, one coat, go read the reviews and go see how many times they've changed their names. It just doesn't work. We know we have to maintain exterior wood. It is for life. We have to continue to do this. So the reason we do this, well, we all know that for exterior wood to have its longest life, it must be oiled regularly. I mean, most of us, Grandpa would put oil on his trailer deck. He would put it on his barn. He would put it on his hammer and axe handles. He would put oil on everything to preserve it. It keeps wood soft and supple. Not technically soft like a pillow, but it keeps wood from becoming brittle, and it keeps it moisturized, and it can allow it to last forever. So this prevents warping, cracking, twisting, and rotting. Rotting is an important thing you need to think about because oil does prevent wood from rotting. So you can think of the pigments in our stain like your gas gauge. When you stain the fence, the gas gauge goes all the way up. The fence is full of oil. Because remember what happens with these penetrating oil-based stains. They penetrate. So here's 7 days of penetration, 2 weeks of penetration, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, goes all the way through the wood. So we're actually giving this fence or this piece of wood, this deck, this log home, a drink. This wood cannot crack easily. It would have to go through something crazy to crack. Weather is not going to crack this. But when it dries out and becomes brittle, these wood grains these rings that you see here can break apart. We want to prevent that because cracks lead to intrusion of water, weather, bugs, things like that, and lead to the failure of your wood. So we got to keep the oil in it. When you stain it, the fuel gauge goes all the way up. The pigments are sacrificial, meaning we put those there for them to go away. They are your fuel gauge. As the sun beats on the UV beats down on the pigments. The color of your fence will slowly fade away. Slowly fades away. The oil inside of the fence is also slowly becoming less and diminishing. And so when your gauge gets down to about a quarter a tank or a half a tank, right, you need to go ahead and fill it up. You recoat. Now you're back to square one. Your fence can live its best life. If you're running this thing, it's just like in your car. You know, these people that they run it to the empty, they run it to E, they run it below E, and they live life. If you're watching, I'm talking to you. You live life on the edge. You don't really want to live on the edge when it comes to wood care, because one day you're going to run out of gas, right? It happens. So be mindful of that. Maintenance coats, again, top off the conditioning. Oils in your wood. Pigments keep a rich, beautiful color and block harmful UV rays, and our sealers protect against weather and water damage. So really, you can have a lifetime warranty when you use Expert Stain and Seal, and you keep your maintenance schedule up. We're going to post a maintenance schedule for you guys really soon, and actually we're going to come out with a warranty card for you guys to fill out for your jobs, making it that much better for your service business, right? Who else does these things? Next question here I got. I'm going to go back before, because I've got another question, but I'm going to go back to the comments here and answer these first. I hope that answers your question on maintenance plans. Once you have this set program in front of you with your customer, this warranty is designed to build a maintenance plan around. Every contractor listening should be thinking about, how can I take this warranty, this we stain on day one, in 18 months or 1 year, whatever you decide, we restain, or I'm sorry, we clean. We stain on day one, 12 months, 18 months in, whatever the interval is, we restain, reclean. My brain is a fog. Our phone's ringing. And then at the 3-year mark, we're going to restain, and we do that over and over and over. And if we have a card or something to keep up with that, you guys can make that on your own. That's what you build your maintenance plan around. You say, Mrs. Jones, it says right here, we've stained today. Do you want to go ahead and schedule your cleaning for 12 months from now? That would be February 26th through March 6th. Which one of those days would work best for you? Get them to go ahead and sign up. You don't have to pay us until then, or you can pay us monthly in a very low fee monthly, and we'll just come to it automatically. Any of those things will work for maintenance plans. So next thing, does wood cleaner react to metal if not properly washed off? What do you do if it's left on and you missed to wash it off? Wood cleaner, I don't think reacts to metal. Does not typically react to metal. Now it could, like if you had like a 40-year-old downspout or aluminum sided house that you rub it and the powder and the paint just comes right off, I wouldn't take a chance on putting wood cleaner anywhere near that. I would mask all of those things off. It could remove the finish, because wood cleaner is a mild stripper. But what you're seeing is, if you don't mix your wood cleaner quite good enough, sometimes it can leave residue. And even if you mix it really well, it can leave residue, but it's powder. So you could leave some of that powder on, when the water dries, the powder is still there, and that could get on a window and it could just dry, and now you've got to scrub it off. We have had that happen before, and we had to wash a couple windows. We had to come back and wash some windows. So my advice is to keep everything wet. So we pre-wet wood. Just go ahead and pre-wet the house also, and keep the house wet. Put your chemical on, and then as you're rinsing, be sure to rinse the house off. And the very last thing I do with every chemical when I'm cleaning, if it's a deck or anywhere near a house, I'll start at the gutter. I'll wash my way all the way down the house, and then I'll wash the deck away, and I'll wash everything away from the house. And so that's a good way to prevent it. An ounce of prevention is worth a wheelbarrow of cure, right? Do you warranty a stain project if you don't wash it? Well, it would depend. If it's a brand new fence and we don't wash it, certainly we're going to warranty it. And if it's an old fence, at Stain and Seal Experts, we warranty every project we do. So we put a lifetime workmanship warranty on everything that we do. As far as warranting, it would just depend. I guess it's situational. You would have to use good judgment there. If it needs washed and you don't wash it, I would say that would be a good reason to not warranty something, because lignin in the wood is the glue that holds the wood fiber together. And if UV's destroyed it and there's none of that lignin left holding that top wood grain together, the wood will fuzz when you wash it. And then you've got to remove that fuzz by either sanding it or polishing it away. If you don't clean it, you don't know that the wood grain is already lifted, So you could be staining just old dead cell wood that has no lignin left, and it could just eventually fade away much quicker. So that's why it is important to wash and restore wood before you stain it if it's needed. Maintenance wash with Eco Wash or wood cleaner. I would use Eco Cleaner. Just use a little bit and come through, rinse, rinse, rinse. That's all you're doing here. We're not trying to remove the stain. All we want to do is get the bird poop. We want to get the grass. We want to get anything like that off and just wash it away, just to keep things looking nice. Alejandro, do you guys do your own deck repair or source it to another company? I've been getting asked to do repairs, but I don't know how to do them. Maybe a basic repair class at events. Any person in any market in the United States could become very wealthy by doing just repairs for fences and decks. Fence guys are too busy to do them. Stain guys are too busy to do them. We do not do repairs generally. I would love to have a whole division doing fence and deck repair. I come from the fence industry. I know the game. We could do a ton of it, but we don't have the bandwidth at this point. So no, Alejandro, there's your opportunity, brother. What is flood coating? What is flood coat stain application? This is a question we've got frequently, so I wanted to cover it here. Flood coating is generally used on vertical surfaces in place of applying 2 coats and back brushing. Flood coating uses gravity to level out the product. So if you put enough stain on, gravity will level out the product. I look like I'm doing a dance, right, with my fingers. Will level out the product when applied to a vertical surface instead of applying 2 coats and back brushing like you traditionally do with most stains. Essentially, with a flood coat, you put all the stain on that you would need at once, and then you allow it to self-level via gravity. And only certain products can be flood coated. You can't go get your average stain and flood coat it. It's only going to be very specific products that can be flood coated, particularly oils, penetrating oils. Flood coating works best, like I said, with penetrating oil-based stains. These stains need to be applied liberally to fully penetrate into the wood. So flood coating does work. However, we're seeing more and more people, even with flood coat stains, to do, even with a flood coat, they're back brushing with a wet brush. They're not dipping the brush, they're just back brushing. Just to level things out, they're using less stain, having less drippage on the ground. So flood coating is something you could certainly do. Some people preach that it's the only way. And I think the reason they do that is because they think people are maybe don't know how to stain and back brush, or maybe they're too lazy to stain and back brush. But if you have a company that is going to feed your family for the rest of your life, and reputation is important, and quality is important, why wouldn't you just go ahead and stain and then back brush everything? It's not a big deal. It doesn't take much time, and it gives a better finished product. So I recommend a flood coat with a back brush. I don't like doing 2 coats and then back brushing, but with our products, with Expert Stain and Seal, because it just seems to be unnecessary. We can get enough product on at once and then back brush it in, and we're more than good. But there's more than one way to skin a cat. Please check out our new website, expertwoodcare.com. There is a complete list of dealers on this website, and it's growing every day. I'm going to pull that up and show you guys what it looks like, because I want you to see it. Oh, wait a minute. Let's go back to flood coating. I wanted to share a video with you guys. Here is a video of flood coating. So you can see, I'm going to make it really quick. Share the screen. This is going to be super fast, but here you go. Flood coat. He's throwing it on heavy, throwing it on nice and thick with a sprayer. That's I don't know what tip that is, probably 1223. Flooding it on there. He's come back, he's double coated it right there. And then any light spots he's hitting. But notice the stain is running. That is what you want. When it runs, it is leveling. And if you can see runs, that means there's not enough stain on there.
All right, that was super fast.
There's not enough stain on. So if you're flood coating and you cannot get rid of the runs, that means you need more. And I see a lot of guys doing this, especially guys that drive around with stain trailers because they've been taught that they can leave a job with all the runs on it. Those don't go away. You don't want to put your fence sign on a fence that's got runs in it. So be sure that when you leave that job site, there are no runs in the fence, because I see so many guys that think, oh, those runs will go away. They'll go away in 10 minutes. They will not go away in 4 hours. So keep that in mind. Not trying to throw anybody under the bus, but hey, if you want to get paid the most, you got to do what most will not do. So, so now let's go check out expertwoodcare.com. I'll show that one to you, and would like to get some comments on that. Let you guys see what you think. Let me know. It's coming along. It's slow. We're not spending all our time in the design. The design is basic, very basic. You can find our stains, at some Ace Hardware's historic distributors in Northeast. Fence Armor is just a few we got on the homepage. Colors here. This is important for Mrs. Jones, who wants to see what color is my fence going to be. That's important. Log and timber colors here too. But right here, find a retailer. If you're wanting to buy stain, we got first down below, we've got a few, and we're adding more every day of online retailers. You can buy stain at all these places online, and including Amazon. But let's see. Here is a dealer map that we're updating daily. As you can see, these people in the map have stain on the shelf ready to go for you. And you can go here and you can find these. And they're growing more and more every day. If you need a dealer near you, here's how you get a dealer near you. Help us help you to get a dealer. You go to your favorite hardware, favorite paint store, favorite lumber yard, favorite fence supply company, and you say, hey, we use Expert Stain and Seal. We would buy it from you if you would carry it. Please carry this stain. You tell them that. If they're interested, you get the boss's name or the guy who's the buyer's name, and you can give them our number, or you give his number to me. We'll call him. We'll make the deal work for you. We'll get stain on your shelf quickly. We're easy to deal with. We give dealers terms, so they don't have to pay us right up front. We do everything we can to get this stuff in your hands quickly and easily. So check us out, expertwoodcare.com. If you're in Nashville or Middle Tennessee, and you want a professional wood care contractor to take care of your fence, deck, log home, what have you, Stain and Seal Experts, that's us. Give us a call. We are here to help. And if you've got a big project, if let's say you've got 50 miles of fence that's being built in New Mexico. Let's say you've got an apartment complex with 300 decks going in. Let's say that you're doing a set of piers or boat docks or golf course bridges for golf carts, and you need somebody that can come in and handle the project professionally and do it right. That's us, Stain and Seal Experts. We have the biggest network of stain contractors in the world, and we're here to help. And so, guys, you guys watching, if you got those big jobs and you're afraid of them, maybe it's too big for you, let's team up. We'll do it together, and we'll knock it out for the win. Stain and Seal Experts is America's staining contractor. So appreciate you guys watching. Join Staining University Facebook group. You got to go there. There are 6,000 staining contractors that share projects using every type of stain, sealer, paint in the industry that's made from wood. So you can find answers to your questions there. You can get expert advice, and you'll belong to the biggest wood care community in the universe. If you're watching this, chances are you haven't shared it. I'm going to challenge everybody to share this show. with everyone that you know that you think would do it. The way we grow is by word of mouth. The way you grow in your business is by word of mouth. So let's help each other out. When someone from your market calls, we give them your name. When one of your buddies is staying on the other side of the country or the other side of town, give them our name. It works like that. We really appreciate it when you guys do that for us. That is going to wind up the Stain and Seal show. I appreciate everybody watching. Please subscribe to us. Please like this show. Please share it. If you're listening, watch this on YouTube. Come check it out on YouTube. We've got a lot of graphics for you to look at. And if you're on YouTube and you're just a little busy, check us out on iTunes, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcast. And I really appreciate it. I will see you guys at the next Stain and Seal show. Have a good one.